Hey YouTube, I started out to make a video outlining the process and showing everybody how you check your installed height, select the proper shims to install your valve springs at the recommended installed height of the manufacturer. Sounded simple, done it a trillion times. This will be an easy video. I'll just walk through the process and kind of give them some information and go from there. As luck would have it, this particular circumstance with these Quantico cylinder heads with comp cam components, I'm running into a big issue. I'm still working through how I'm gonna fix it, but I wanted to grab the camera really quick because this is a good teaching opportunity for several things. Not to cut everything short, but let's just stick to the basics. Comp Cams sent the customer basically all the components to work with his Extreme Energy 262 cam. Okay, it's just a flat tappet Extreme Energy cam. We'll move on. They sent him, or they either sent him a kit or he bought all the individual components to assemble his heads individually from eBay or internet manufacturers, because it's basically a slightly stiffer than stock valve spring, 105 pounds, 1.700 installed height. He's got the comp cam 742-16, which I am going to look those up to see if this is what's causing my problem, but I just wanted to, like I said, grab the camera and go from there. So we've got the comp 981-16 valve spring, the supposedly, I'm assuming at this point, the recommended retainer for that particular valve spring. I do have, I wanted to find the, here we go. Now here's something that, I did look up the part number that's on this bag, because this is clearly not a Comp Cams product bag, I don't think. But these are supposed to be the Comp Cam 601-16 stamped steel valve locks. I don't particularly like using stamped steel, even if they're hardened. I like to use machined locks, because I've had issues on my own personal engines with dropping valves back in the 80s, and stamped steel products scare me. But these are supposed to be the matching comp cam locks that work with this retainer and this spring. I'm looking for a 1.7 installed height so that I can get close to or slightly over my seat pressure of 105 pounds. Okay, get everything back over here because I don't want to lose nothing. Here's the problem we were having with these Quantico heads. To start off with, they come they come from the manufacturer with this valve spring. Okay, I'd like for you to look at the difference. This is a 1.525 thousandths, I think. It's over an inch and a half in diameter, I know that. Single with dampener, 130 pound on the seat spring. Naturally, when you compare it with this baby, and I consider this a baby valve spring, it's only slightly better than stock, that's huge difference. One of the biggest differences is the installed height is different, and naturally the diameter is different. So moving along, the retainer that comes with these fat boy springs won't work on these little baby springs. The locks also, which are high quality machined steel locks that can even use lash caps, these will only work with this retainer. These locks will not even fit in that hole. I don't know if you guys on camera can tell, that's a huge difference. The inside diameter of these two are way different. Problem. With the factory, Quantico or whoever really made these, with their valve springs, their retainers, and their locks, it's coming out with an installed height, as advertised, 1.800. According to my valve spring micrometer, it's 1.802. So we're looking at 1.800 installed height. We knew that going in. When he brought me the heads, he had some specs, you know, from the internet. Supposed to have these 130 pound on the seat, hydraulic roller or flat tappet solid valve spring. He did not want a chance running that much spring pressure on his little baby hydraulic cam, because you can actually mess up a lifter or a lobe during your camshaft break-in if you have too much spring pressure. Without verifying these big fat springs, I would say he probably shouldn't run those on that little cam he's got. If anything, he probably should have stepped up to a hydraulic roller cam and just ran the springs that came with these heads. But he didn't choose to do that, so we're moving forward. But 1.800 for the big fat springs that came on the heads, measured and verified by me with my valve spring micrometer. Okay, so now moving forward, the Comp Cams 981 spring, it requires a 1.700 installed height. So to fix this problem, he ordered a set of Manley valve spring locator cups. These will act both as a steel barrier to protect the aluminum of the head, because remember I had said previously, you can never assemble a head with a valve spring directly on aluminum. Can't do it, don't even try. But he ordered a set of 62 thousandths thick Manley valve spring cups that match the 981 Comp spring. So basically with that cup, it can sit on this huge, because I hope you guys, I think I moved a little too fast, but I just wanted to point out, this seat, this area in the cylinder head right here, that's called your valve spring pocket. Okay, when you assemble a head, I'm just going to do this for example, you cannot set a spring in that over 1.5 inch diameter valve spring pocket without positively locating it to your valve guide or to this outer edge of the spring pocket itself, because there's different options. But you can't have this going and because it's going to dance all around this thing, more than likely break the valve spring and result in catastrophic engine failure. So the way you cure that is you get a positive locating shim. They make different styles of locator cups, and they also have the ones that locate with a ridge around here and then just come out flat on the edges. But moving along, because we don't want to make the video too long, he went out and bought that 62 thousandths shim. So in theory, because we started out with a measured and verified 1.800 on these bad boys. Problem. This is why you always check your parts, because there can be variances in the thickness of the retainer, the locks, the area where the locks lock into the groove on the valve. There's so many variables. When you start mixing and matching parts, you can run into this problem, and this is what I'm getting to. Even though we did our homework and we thought 1.800 installed height minus 62 thousandths, I should be able to throw 45 thousandths worth of shim, because basically you can put your shims right in this little cup because it's deep. Put the 62 thousandths locator cup, a 15 and a 30 shim, throw the valve spring on there, assemble it, should be 1.700 or slightly below. So we're looking at a little bit below, but within the 15. I think comp says you can be plus or minus 15 to 20 thousandths on your installed height and still be within the happy land on their springs. Well, as luck would have it, as verified with my little micrometer over there, 1.650. That's where this assembly is coming together. There's a vast difference of 50 thousandths difference between the retainer and lock from these fat springs and the retainers and locks for the comp springs. For some reason, these comp valve springs are coming in 50 thousandths too short. I don't know why. It's actually more than that now that I think about it, because I am getting a 1.650 installed height and I don't have any shims in it. Like literally, only thing underneath this micrometer is the locator cup, valve spring, retainer, and comp, all comp products, and 1.650. So then I'm going, okay, that's not going to work. I'm not in the happy zone on that. That's not going to work at all. So then I'm like, okay, measure. Okay, check it again, measure. It keeps coming out with the same problem, so then that's the reason I pulled out the original big fat springs, because I was like, okay, let's just start with their stuff, see what they measure. Lo and behold, 1.800, just like they said. Try to assemble it up again. I don't have any other retainers or locks to try here today. You know, I may try to get some from a friend or something, but this thing's coming in way short. Way short. I don't know why it's measuring out this way, but I do intend on figuring it out, because I was hoping to get these heads final assembled today, and this is the kind of stuff you can run into. Thank God I'm the type person that checks everything, because I could have very well, in less than 30 minutes, completely assembled both these cylinder heads and sent them out the door. Well, he's running a cam that's like 460, I want to say it's like 468, 479, or so he's looking at a 460 to 480 lift cam. Well, these comp 981 valve springs, they're only good up to around a 490 lift cam. 500 at the absolute, don't run them that much lift, because that's only going to give you 30 thousandths coil bind protection. So you're looking at a 470 to 480. You're safe around 480 lift, but when you start going up 490, you're getting pretty close to coil bind. Boom. Look what would happen. Let's just say it's 490 minus 50 thousandths. You can't run these springs. Not safely. You're not going to run these springs at a 1.650 installed height and safely not coil bind it and break something. So basically, I'm shocked, but I wanted to at least look at the positive and think, okay, this is a good teaching opportunity to show exactly why you check everything in your valve train. You cannot just buy things off the internet and throw it together and expect it to work. I mean, you can roll it, you can gamble. There's a lot of people that like to go to the casino and gamble, but that's not the way you build engines. That's not the way you blueprint things for power and durability. So hopefully this has been informative for some of you guys who do your own, or want to do your own cylinder head assembly, or at least to know how to check things and to plan ahead to make sure things are right. As always, guys, I thank you guys for watching these videos. If I got a little rambly, it's because I'm still in my head trying to figure this out. So please like, subscribe, share, try to get those hits up for me, because hopefully we can get this thing to take off. Appreciate it. Stay tuned.